All right. Thank you. Welcome to Thursday Night Football with Calvin Dean, sponsored by the NFL Network. And man, do we have week 3 upon us already? Wow, it has been so much fun. Well, if you've been listening to my show last week, I had a lock game in the Calvin Dean show. You have to listen to it, because when I tell everyone, go to your bank, take out every red cent out of your savings, the kids' lunch money, everything, I want you to take it all out, and I want you to put it on this game. And I'm telling you, when I say that, I know for a fact that you're going to win a lot of money. And my lock game last week was the Buffalo Bills over the Miami Dolphins. That was the lock. They covered the points. What was it, 11? 35-0. Oh my. I'm telling you, people, you have to listen to me. And my upset special of the week, was the Carolina Panthers over the New Orleans Saints. I just knew it. I just knew that was going to be the upset special of the week. And I handed it out to you. So I handed the lock and the upset special of the week. And if you have been listening to me, and if you listened to me last week, and if you are a betting person, you would have won a lot of money. A lot of money. Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's get on to week 3 and tonight's game. Yes, week 3, starting tonight. And mind you, my upset special, the Carolina Panthers of last week, right? They're playing Thursday Night Football against the Texans. Mills, Tyrod Taylor, is hurt, and he's not going to play. And Mr. Watson, Deshaun Watson is MIA. He will not be playing for the Houston Texans this year. So it leaves it up to Mr. Mills. And, oh my. And Texans have a few people out too. There's like 5 different starters are out. And that is on the line. And, boy, that's going to be tough for this kid Mills, especially off of you have the Carolina Panthers 2-0, who just beat the New Orleans Saints, who are supposed to be all world this year. And looks like, they are going to face a Texan team with people out, people hurt. And, their backup quarterback, Tyrod Taylor, how about him, people, huh? He looks really good, doesn't he? And Mr. Brandon Cooks, all they need to do right now, the Panthers, they need to stop Brandon Cooks. They need to double team him, and then the Texans have no offensive power in the air, because that's all Brandon Cooks has been doing. They had, 28 passing plays or something like that, and they had 26 out of 28 went to him or something in that realm. But it is pretty obvious that the Houston Texans are all over Mr. Brandon Cooks. And if he was facing Bill Belichick, Brandon wouldn't have one ball in his arms. But we are facing the Carolina Panthers, who are really, really good against the rush this year, and they've been awfully good. They picked off Mr. Winston, and they looked really good to stop the high-powered offense of New Orleans. You have to give it up. You just have to give it up for the Carolina Panthers, people. Really, you do. And now the Carolina Panthers, I don't know if they're on too much of a high. Sam Darnold, how about Sam Darnold? Wow, I am so excited for Sam. Finally he got a good team. Look at Wilson on the Jets. Think about that. I mean, he's playing like a Sam Darnold did last year. Why do we say why? Well, we say why is because we look at the establishment of the New York Jets, and they're pretty sad, and they're still sad. And I just don't see them doing too well this year. And I feel sorry for Mr. Wilson, who was the first pick for the New York Jets. And they thought, oh, he's going to be our next Namath, Willie Namath. We're going to win a Super Bowl. That's what we're going to do. And come on. You should have kept Sam Darnold. He's proving it right now with a 2-0 team and about to go 3-0 this after tonight's game. And Sam has just proven the New York Jets all wrong. Now, if the New York Jets were smart, they would have picked some players around Sam and got him the ball, and would have left Mr. Wilson on the table. Now, if that was their smart idea, but they are not that smart. When has the Jets had a winning season? So you have to extend that to not just coaching. It's called the GM, and I could do a better job in drafting players and putting players together. I would have kept Sam Darnold and I would have built around him. But the Jets are just not. They just can't grasp, reality. I would call it. Anyway, let's get to it, people. Tonight's game, yeah. Yeah, I can't wait. Well, it has the Panthers that are heading into Houston, Texans, and Texans are really hurt. And, we're going to look at everything. I just don't predict things because, I think someone's going to win or not. I have to look at everything, and I'm going to go over to you what I look at and how I predict. And tonight's game, we have the 14th ranked offense against the 17th ranked offense. So their offenses aren't that phenomenal, but we have the number one defense. Yes, the Carolina Panthers are the number one defense in the NFL right now. The Carolina Panthers are, guys. Yeah. And they're playing against the number 17th defense in the Houston Texans. And that's pretty big. I mean, the Houston Texans have been playing really good football. They're 1-1, and everyone thought, including myself, they probably wouldn't win a game all year. But no, they're pretty good, and they're looking good without Tyrod Taylor. The passing offensive, Sam Darnold is number 9, and he's in the top 10 in the NFL. That's pretty good. When you're top 10, you're 2-0. And then the 13th ranked offensive passing offense in the NFL is the Houston Texans. But Mr. Mills is going to be the quarterback, so that just takes them right out of the picture. Rushing-wise, I mean, McCaffrey hasn't really gone off yet. His average is like 3.2 yards per carry, and that's not that good, not for him. And the rushing offense of the Houston Texans, believe it or not, I mean, they're 11th. They're almost in the top 10. So hats off to the Houston Texans. And, I'm telling you something, really hats off to them and their coaching staff, because I didn't believe that they were this competitive, and now they are that competitive. But this game is going to go in the win column for the Carolina Panthers. It's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a defensive game, maybe 18-12 or something like that. The Panthers by 6 points or maybe 8 points, 6 or 8 points, giving it to the Panthers. Tonight's game is, I just can't wait. I love Thursday Night Football. And Thursday Night Football with Calvin Dean. How about that? You know, you gotta, if you're a football fan, you can't miss this show, guys. Really, you can't. And if you're a betting person, you better not miss this show, or you're going to lose a lot of money. Anyway, let's go to Sunday's games. We have the Colts, the limping Colts, going into the Titans, the Tennessee Titans. I mean, they played all world last week. Mr. Derrick Henry did. He got into another gear in the second half and just blew everyone away. I mean, if you're a fantasy owner, the Titans, Mr. Derrick Henry, if you're his owner for fantasy football, man, he went off. He scored like 39 points in fantasy football. So, gosh, you can't go wrong on that one. And then Julio Jones stepped up, and I mean, their whole team stepped up, and they came back and they won. Excellent game. Hats off to the Titans last week. The Colts are limping right now. They don't know who's going to be the quarterback. They're going to split between Huntley and the kid from Washington. And Carson Wentz sprained both ankles, not just one. Both ankles, and I feel so sorry for Carson, I mean, he's been so plagued with injuries his whole career, He's one of those guys who he plays hard and, and he just needs to get his head together and stop taking the beating that he takes, But it is the NFL. And Nelson's back on the line. I mean, the Colts are going to play tough in this game. Really, really, really tough. And I'm going to give this game to the Tennessee Titans over the Indianapolis Colts. Used to be Baltimore Colts. Don't you remember that? Yeah. Earl Morrall and Johnny U. And, wow. But it's the Indianapolis Colts. And, it's going to be a close game. I think they're going to really keep it close, to be honest. The Colts defense is just all world. They're really, really good, people. And, believe it or not, the rushing attack on the Tennessee Titans is only ranked number 4. So they're not number 1. I know who's number 1. It's the Baltimore Ravens. And then the rushing attack on the Indianapolis Colts, they're ranked 16th. Both passing attacks, 16th and 19th. 19th going to to the Indianapolis Colts, and the Titans fall into the 16th out of 32 teams. That's their passing. So their passing got better last week. Julio Jones came out of his mind, and he played great. And, I mean, how can you not play great when you have Derrick Henry, just rolling over people, right? I mean, then they have to fill the box, and you're going to be open, that's for sure. Defensive-wise, the Tennessee Titans are still ranked 24th. That's not good. And the Colts are right behind them. They're at 18th. So, I mean, that's a problem. And then the offensive power is top 10 is Tennessee. Tennessee's top 10. So definitely I'm looking at the Colts on this one. Their offense is number 20. And now they're going to have they're going to be switching from one quarterback to another. I just don't see them doing too well. I see Tannehill having a huge game, like a 350, 60-yard game. And I see the Tennessee Titans coming alive in this one again. And, going 2-1. And unfortunately, the Indianapolis Colts will be 0-3. But they're not going to have a losing season. Trust me, Indianapolis will come back in vengeance once they get their quarterback situation taken care of. But they'll keep it close. This is going to be a very, very close game. Titans by just a couple points. It could go the other way even too, but that's how tight this game is. It's going to be really tight. Like I'm thinking like 24-23 to Titans barely winning, and it's going to be a fun game to watch. So you have the next game, the Falcons, 0-2 Falcons against the 0-2 Giants. The Giants have been playing better. They played a really good game last week. And I like Daniel Jones. I really do. And I think he's going to have a really great game. The Falcons are a huge disappointment again. I don't know about the Falcons. I had them winning the first game, and then they came out as the Falcons. The Falcons, I don't know what it is with that team, but they always come out the first 5 games, they're just terrible, and then they start gelling near the end of the season, and they start winning, and then they end up like 7-10 or 8-9 or something like that. Or now there's 17 games, so I'm going 8-9. I'm saying 7-10 maybe. I think they'll come alive like they always do at the end of the season. But this is the thing. Everyone says, "Oh, they won't miss Julio Jones. They have Pitts." And no, man. I mean, of course they hit. And it wasn't their fault that they got rid of Julio Jones. He's just too expensive for their salary cap. So boo on the GM for his mismanagement of people's salaries and trying to keep a really good player like Julio Jones. I think any other team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, let's think, he'd be still on that team if he was in Tampa. I guarantee it. But something's going on with the front office of the Falcons and the fans. I'm sorry, if you're a fan of the Atlanta Falcons. But this game's going to belong to the New York Giants, the New York Football Giants. Barkley's going to go off in this one. Galladay is going to have a good day if he ends up playing. I guess he's a question mark. And Shepard's going to have a big game. I think Daniel Jones will have a really, really big game against the Atlanta Falcons defense because they're terrible, guys. They're really, really bad. The Atlanta Falcons. Their defense is ranked 21st. And actually they're not that bad in all reality. Excuse me. The Giants' defense is ranked 26th. And the offense, it's the offense of the Falcons, believe it or not, offense, and the missing of Julio Jones. And in all due respect to Mr. Pitts, usually a tight end doesn't, like a rookie tight end doesn't come in and just wow the NFL. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. And then the offense of the Giants is 19th, but they did step it up from the first game. They're looking better. They're looking much better. And then we have think about this, guys. The Giants won on a last-second field goal against the Washington football team. And I'm telling you something, Daniel Jones did so good. He had 9 carries for 95 yards. You got to be kidding me, And I think he's going to have another good game. But I think Barkley's going to... Barkley had a couple runs there that really looked good. He really looked good. And Slayton looked great. But Slayton's drop, that touchdown drop, wow, man. I mean, all the good catches he had, and then he drops the ball. They would have won the game, mind you, with that drop. So anyway, Galladay is really, really, he's just really upset. And, you got to be, Daniel Jones is sometimes he's learning. And I think this is a huge year for the New York Giants, the New York Football Giants, and I think they'll end up with a 9-8 season. I really do. I think they'll have a winning season, and this is going to be one of them right now, because I am giving this game to the New York Giants over the Falcons, and I'm sorry for all my family members who live in Georgia. And the next game is this is going to be a good game. You know, you always have to pick an upset game. And you have the Chargers going into Kansas City. Now, Kansas City is pretty good, you know, at home. Arrowhead Stadium, the grass. But they're playing the Chargers, and the Chargers played really good against Dallas last week. And this is going to be a shootout. I think this is going to be a shootout. But the Chargers defense is good. Check this out. I'll give you this team is so well matched, and everyone would think Kansas City is going to win, right? But hear me out on this one. For number one, offenses. Well, the Chargers' offense is number 5 in the NFL, ranked 5th in the NFL. And the offense of the Kansas City Chiefs ranked 9th. Okay? Now, the next stat I'm going to give you is a very important stat. This is the defense. Now, mind you, the Los Angeles Chargers are usually in the top 10 in defense, but they're 13th. But this is the huge stat that you guys have to sit in. You need to take this stat and take it in and put it in your brain and let it rattle around. The next 2 stats, okay? Defense. Los Angeles Chargers, 13th, okay? 13th. Good. The Kansas City Chiefs, number 32. I'm sorry. Kansas City defense, there's 32 teams in the NFL. 32. And Kansas City Chiefs are ranked 32nd. Oh, wow. Poor Andy Reid. And everyone wonders what's going on with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think everyone should just chill, because they're going to win. But the next stat that I want to go over is the passing stat. Believe it or not, I mean, these 2 quarterbacks, Heber and Mahomes, I think they're the 2 best rookie, the 2 best, kids in the NFL. Him, and I would give it to Josh Allen. Of course, Lamar Jackson. But there's those top 4 of the young kids. I'm not giving all of them number 1 right now, because Mr. Tom Brady deserves number 1 with the 9 touchdowns. Amazing. Guy's 44 years old. We'll get into that later. So we have number 4 passing offense is in the Los Angeles Chargers, and the number 2 passing offense goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, rushing-wise, the Kansas City Chiefs are 29th in rushing. That's terrible, guys. They're just going. There's going to be teams just dropping back, and letting them run. Hey, run against me. And the same thing with the Chargers. They're 23rd, so it's 23rd for the Chargers, man. I mean, it's just. I don't know, guys. You just have to worry. I think the Chargers are going to upset this game. I think they're going to be very surprised. It's going to be like 42-24, and the Chargers are going to win this game. And it's going to be by a substantial margin. And that's my upset special of the week. The Los Angeles Chargers going into Arrowhead Stadium and beating the Kansas City Chiefs. And then the Chiefs will be 1-2, and they'll be in trouble. Trouble. That's what people say, but they're not going to be in trouble. Trust me. The next game we have the Cincinnati Bengals. Excuse me. Did I say Bungles? Yeah, I did. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now they don't know if Ben Roethlisberger. I think he's going to play. I really do. But he got hurt, chest muscle, and he's day by day they're saying it, but I don't think he's gonna not play. I think Big Ben will play. The Cincinnati Bengals look really good, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, they're 1-1, and they looked much better this last Sunday. They look much better, beating the Buffalo Bills. Wow, I mean that was a feat, Anyway. So it was the first game, mind you, that the Steelers beat the Bills. And then last week, they played the Raiders, and the Raiders, man, they looking like all world, aren't they? Wow. I mean, wow. And so let's just go over this. We have the Bengals with the 24th offense, and against the 28th offense of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Wow, that's just terrible. And then we have the Cincinnati defense of number 6 against the 22nd defense, which would be the Steelers. And then we have the passing attack is 28th for the Bengals, which is kind of sad. And then the number 18 for the Steelers, where that's kind of sad as well too. The next thing was rushing for the the Bengals are 18th and the Steelers are last in rushing, guys. Last in rushing. Wow. I mean, that's something. And the defense is a little bit better, and they're going into Steel Town. And I think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to give the Steelers a run for their money. And I think Cincinnati's been doing really well. Due to their defense and the Steelers, this is such a back and forth game. I'm going to give this to the Cincinnati Bengals over to Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, I guess this could be a minor upset, but the Cincinnati Bengals will beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in this one, and that's from their defense being ranked 6th in the NFL. I think I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are in trouble. They need to get Najee Harris the ball. You need to get him the ball somehow, some way, with screens. Just get him the ball. You have to. And if you can get Najee Harris involved, which is the new rookie running back, then you got to win. You got to win in this one. But if you don't do that, you're going to lose. And I have a strange feeling that, I don't know, that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh, mind you. The next game, you have the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears going into the Cleveland Browns. They're both 1-1. The Bears, Justin Fields will be starting because Andy Dalton is out from an injury. And Justin Fields makes his first NFL professional start of the year, and is in week 3. Now, mind you, I predicted in the beginning of the year that Justin Fields would be starting by the 3rd game. Yeah, by the 3rd game, I said that Justin Fields would be starting over who? Andy Dalton? Oh, yeah, come on. I just, every time I mention Andy Dalton, oh God, come on. All right. It's like every time I mention Andy Dalton, I can't win. I can't mention his name. Sorry. Justin Fields is going to be starting for the Chicago Bears in Browns. Now Lindsey's out. Odell Beckham is just, he's, I don't know about Odell. I mean, the guy is just, I don't know. He wouldn't, if I was the coach or general manager, he'd be gone. He'd be gone. Let's go over a little bit of the rankings. The 30th offense in the NFL is the Chicago Bears. The 8th ranked offense is the Cleveland Browns. We have the 8th ranked defense in the Chicago Bears. Now, they're number 8 in the NFL, guys. Nick Chubb last week had 88 yards, 6.3 yards a carry, 3 touchdowns. Guy looked really, really good. Really good. And the defense on the Browns are 14th. And the passing attack on that's the thing bad about the Chicago Bears is the passing attack is 31st. And to the passing attack of the Cleveland Browns, we have number 14. The rushing goes from 8. Chicago Bears are ranked in the top 10. They are number 8. And the rushing attack of the Cleveland Browns, number 3. So, I'm telling you, Nick Chubb's looks really, really, really good. Baker Mayfield has been really good. And then, there's just they're just really good, guys. This team is a very, very good team. The Cleveland Browns are just, the way they play is just very good football. And I just don't see Cleveland losing this game at home. So I'm giving this game to the Cleveland Browns over the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields will lose his first start as an NFL quarterback, but he'll do very well. I think he'll keep it close, but near the end he's going to have a couple faux pas, a couple interceptions, maybe even a fumble, and he's going to lose the game that way. But he at least gave everyone a thrill because Chicago is going to be in the lead, but then and then the Cleveland Browns running attack is just going to take over, and they're going to win the game. The next game, the limping Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens had just beat the Super Bowl contenders of last year, the Kansas City Chiefs. And, man, what a game that was, right? Wow. Lamar Jackson, a gutsy call. Fourth and a yard with 1:05 left. On your own 43-yard line, instead of punting, because Kansas City only had one timeout left, instead of punting, Harbaugh asked Lamar Jackson, you could see do you want to go for it? Do you think you're going to go for it? Now think about it, everyone. You ask any quarterback, you want to go for it? Of course, any quarterback's going to say yes. Come on. That was just stupid. It was a stupid question. Of course, of course, it's in the heat of the moment. Harbaugh's all jazzed. Let's get it, that type of thing. And Lamar Jackson doing the backflip. Remember when he scored that one touchdown? And guess what? He hurt his hip on that. Let's not do any backflips. Let's stop the BS and just play football. Lamar just he's dazzled. And Hollywood Brown looking great. He had 16 carries last week. That's Lamar Jackson at 107 yards, 2 touchdowns. I don't know. I think Lamar will play, and I think the Ravens' offense and defense is about to win this game. But mind you, I'm going to give you some stats here, and it's going to be very revealing stats. Okay, we have the number 3 offense was in the Baltimore Ravens, number 3 offense in the league, okay, against the number 12 offense. Well, that's Jared Goff has been doing good. shows of greatness, but then you do have the Detroit Lions that you are playing for, which isn't fun. And then you have the defense. Now, this is surprising. The defense of the Baltimore Ravens is ranked 31st. I think it's from their first couple games that they've played, and they played some really great teams, and but they beat the Kansas City Chiefs 36-35. But the defense on the side of the Lions is 20th, and then the passing offense is 21st for Lamar Jackson, and for Jared Goff it's number 12. So Jared Goff's he's got him in the air. He is good. He's good. He's good. He does have. I've seen him signs of greatness, just signs of greatness. And then the rushing attack. Well, I've told you guys before, Baltimore's number 1 in rushing. And it's becomes, it's Lamar Jackson. They have a slew of running backs now. Williams, it goes on and on. I mean, they do. They sign some veterans, and they're keeping their hopes alive. They have a huge front line. The Baltimore Ravens, huge front line. So I'm going to give this to the Baltimore Ravens. I think it'll be a blowout. I'm sorry, Detroit Lions fan. I love you guys. I really love my family. But I'm sorry about this one. It's going to be 48-24. And 48-24, and the Baltimore Ravens by 24 over the Lions. The next game is the New Orleans Saints going into Foxborough and playing the Belichick's New England Patriots. Now, mind you, Jameis didn't look too good last week, and this is suspect. Now, you have a defensive mind like no other in Bill Belichick, and how they go about taking away, a player. And I think they're going to take away Kamara, and they're going to see if Winston will beat them. They're going to do that. I guarantee you. And they're going to rush him, and they're going to get him off his game. Now, I see the Patriots doing really well in this game, but I think the Saints are going to bounce back, and the New Orleans Saints are going to bounce back in this game and beat the New England Patriots, and the New England Patriots will get beaten at home by the New Orleans Saints in this game. It'll be a close game. I think it will be. I really do. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I really do. I think it's going to be like a 20-17, and the Saints by 3 points over the Patriots. The next game, I have the Cardinals going into Jacksonville. Jacksonville 0-2. Urban Myers is going, oh God. Welcome to the NFL. Oh, I got a headache. Oh, life is so much better in college. But the money isn't, is it, Urban Myers? Anyway, we have the 2-0 Cardinals. Now, believe it or not, if you go into the stats of the Cardinals, you have to look at this stuff. They're number 2 offense in the league. The Cardinals are number 2, and the offense on the Jags is 27th. The defense is 11 to 29th. Is the Jags are 29th. And here you go. Passing attack is 3rd best in the NFL. Just Kyler Murray's just this amazing. 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a passing rating last week of 117.6. That's just sick. That's sickening. Sickening good, mind you. Again, they're going against the 23rd passing attack on the Jags. I know it's the brand new, Trevor Lawrence. Well, Trevor, welcome to the NFL and welcome to a 1-15 team last year. They weren't 1-15 for nothing, because they're 1-15 is because now you're seeing it. They'll take a few games to maybe get to their first win, but they will. They'll win maybe 2 or 3. I think if they win 4 games this year, they'll be lucky. Maybe 2 or 3, they might. Who knows? We'll see. We'll keep the faith. Keep the faith, right? The next stat was a rushing stat. We have the Carolina Panthers. They're rushing. Not the Carolina Panthers. The Arizona Cardinals, and they're playing the Jacksonville Jags, and the Arizona Cardinals are 12th, and the Jags are 26th. This is an easy call. I think the Jacksonville Jags will keep it tough. I think it's going to be a wild and crazy game. I think they both will score this outrageous amount of points. The Jags will score at the end to keep it closer than it was, but the Cardinals by 17 to 21 points on this game. We have the Washington football team 1-1 going into the Buffalo Bills 1-1. This is going to be an interesting game because this is 2 powerhouses, 2 division leaders. Last year, both teams won their division. So let's go at offensive 22nd, 21st. 21st is the Bills, and the Washington football team 22nd. Defense 25th for Washington. Now, mind you, that's suspect, man. They touted themselves as such a great defensive team, but they're only 25th, and that's not good. And the Bills are second ranked defense in the NFL is the Buffalo Bills. They're passing between 20 and 26. 20, the Washington football team's beating them in passing. They're at 20th, and the Bills are 26th. That's not good. That's not good. I think they'll turn it around this game. Trust me, they will. And the Buffalo Bills rushing defense, rushing attack, which mainly is all about Josh Allen, right? And Singletary did really good last week too. So you have Devin Singletary in your lineup. Start him this game. Just watch. And the rushing attack on the Washington football team is number 20, and the rushing attack of the Bills is 6th. So looking at the stats, looking where they're going to go, where they're going, where they're playing, I'm giving this one to the Buffalo Bills at home. I think they're going to score some points, 32-16, 32-17, something like that. The Buffalo Bills over the Washington football team. The next game, we have the 0-2 Jets going into Denver and playing the Denver Broncos at 2-0. Denver looks great. Teddy Bridgewater is playing out of his mind. And Teddy is really doing well. I'm very impressed. The offense on the Denver Broncos is ranked 7th in the NFL. 7th. Top 10. Wow, that's dangerous because they're 3rd in defense. And, mind you, the Jets' defense is number 9. That's the only thing that's keeping them in the game because their offense is 26th. And then you have the passing offense of Teddy Bridgewater, number 11, and the Jets is number 29 because Wilson's on his back 9 out of 10 plays. And then the rushing attack from 22nd to number 5 rushing attack of the Denver Broncos. Given the stats, giving who's hot and who's not, I'm definitely going to give this to the Denver Broncos. They're going to roll. Roll on this team. They're going to have 1 or 2 touchdowns, defensive touchdowns, it's going to end up to be like 42-3, 42-6. The Denver Broncos by like a landslide in this one. A landslide. I mean, trust me, they're going to win. And then we have the Miami Dolphins 1-2 just getting blown out by the Bills last week. I called that game. I told that was my lock game of the week. And this is going to be my other lock game of the week. Sorry, Miami. Boy, is that weird? Miami's lock is week to week, back-to-back jacks for the Miami Dolphins. I'm giving the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, this one at home in Vegas. They're going to just annihilate the Miami Dolphins. Are just they're going to look like they're going to look very bad because the Las Vegas Raiders look all world, guys. They look great. They just look so good, and Carr is just looking great. I'm giving this to the Raiders. Their defense, I mean, they're good, guys. Very, very, very good. It's so surprising. You're going against the number 31st offense, which is the Dolphins, against the number 1 offense of the league. Did you hear that? The Las Vegas Raiders, yes, the Las Vegas Raiders are the number 1 offensive team in the league. The Raiders, people. And they're the number 1 passing team in the league with Derek Carr. This is going to be a great game. A great game. But it's going to be my lock game. And don't be fooled. The Raiders, you always say, which team's going to show up? The Raiders are going to show up. They're really good this year. Very good. And I'm seeing, Carr having a 4-touchdown game. And he looks good. His rating last week was 126.2. Come on, man. I mean, that's really good. He's just been on fire, and he really diced the Pittsburgh Steelers. He made them look terrible. And Waller, they had double team Waller all day, and he still hit Waller 5 times. So, I mean, wow, Henry Ruggs last week, 5 receptions, 113 yards. The guy was all world. And, they just look really good. Their defense looks good, too. So I'm giving this to the Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. That's my lock game of the week, is the Las Vegas Raiders over the Miami Dolphins at home. The next game is the Seattle Seahawks 1-1 going into Minnesota 0-2, excuse me. I've been calling Minnesota to lose the last 2 games. I'm sorry. I don't want to get vaccinated Cousins going into this 0-2 team. Now, Cousins, mind you, I mean, he's been throwing some good balls, guys. He has. And then, see the things, Dalvin Cook was, thought they got hurt once, and then he walked, and he went to the sideline, came back, and that's what I fear with the Vikings is Dalvin Cook going down. We have the number 11th offense against the number 6 offense. Like I said, it's surprising the offensive ranking of the Minnesota Vikings is number 6 for an 0-2 team, right? And then you have the 30th defense against the 28th defense. The Seahawks is the 30th defense, and the Minnesota Vikings 28th defense. Now Minnesota, they do have some young guns in their defense, and that usually takes a little bit of time for a team to mold into a better defense. Give them a few more games, and you have the passing attack of Russell Wilson against non-vaccinated Cousins. You have the Seahawks at 10 and the Vikings at 8. and the rushing attack on 19 on the Seahawks and 10 on the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings should be a little bit better than that, don't you think? Their rushing attack. But what it is that they're trying to come back, and so they're not giving it up to Dalvin. But I think this game there's going to be a lot of Dalvin Cook in this game. I really think it's going to be a lot of Dalvin Cook. And I think I just don't see I've just called them two games in a row. I called the Vikings losing, but I can't call them for a third game. And the Vikings are going to beat the Seahawks in this game at home. And the Seahawks will end up 1-2, and then the Vikings will be 1-2 at the end of this game. Seahawks are going to go. They're going to go toe to toe with the Vikings. They're going to go toe to toe, and it's going to be an exciting game to watch. Thielen, Jefferson, Cousins, Dalvin Cook, and then you have Russell Wilson. You have DK Metcalf, Lockett, Carson. It's going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Vikings are end up winning last second field goal, and the Vikings will win. It'll be a high-scoring game. I really think so. It's like 38-35, 38-36, something like that. And the Vikings will win. The next game is going to be a great game. This game is at 4:25. Later game at, I guess, 1:25 on the West Coast. And it's in the West Coast. It's at the Los Angeles SoFi Stadium. The Los Angeles Rams are hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Tampa Bay Super Bowl Buccaneers. And, man, the Bucs look really good, don't they, guys? I mean, man. But the Rams, their defense, and this is going to be a tough game. This is going to be an interesting game. We have the 13th ranked offense, which is the Bucs, against the 16th ranked offense of the Rams, and then the 23rd ranked defense. And the defense of the Bucs, they seem to come on at the end of the year. They really haven't shown me enough, and Pierre Paul might be out this week, so you have to take that into account. And then you have the defense on the Rams, number 12. They're usually a top 5 defense, so that's surprising. But they have been playing some hard teams. The next game, the next stat is kind of an interesting stat. We have the number 5 passing offense in Mr. Tom Brady with Mr. 9 touchdowns against Matthew Stafford. I love them. He's the Mad Bomber. The Mad Bomber Stafford. And I love that kid. Yeah, I always loved him at Detroit, and I love him now. Man, the Los Angeles Rams really got a gem. Last week, Gronk, Evans had 8 targets, 5 receptions, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, mind you, Antonio Brown will be out. Last week, 5 targets, 4 receptions, 82 yards for Mr. Gronk. The guy is just all world. 2 touchdowns. Wow, it's going to be a tough game. There's so many weapons. Now, Mr. Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford have been just playing out of their minds, haven't they? And so, now, mind you, I don't know if you know this, but Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp every single morning, the day of practice, they're out there in the morning running drills, both of them. So hats off to them for keeping in sync, and more teams should be doing this, and I'm sure they are. But now you have Mr. Tom Brady going against Matthew Stafford. This is going to be such a good game. Good game. Oh my gosh. This is such a hard call. I'm going to give it to last second field goal by the Tampa Bay Bucs. And Tom Brady's going to have 2 minutes. He's going to drive down the field, and he's going to score with a field goal. And it's going to be, the score is going to be 31-30. No, 31-30. 31-30. Tampa Bay Buccaneers by 1 point over the of the Los Angeles Rams. Yeah, 31-28, 31-30. I think any 1 to 3 points that the Bucs will win, 1 to 3 points on this one. The Rams are going to play tough. It's going to be a great game. This is probably going to be the best game of the weekend to watch. The next game, Sunday Night Football, with the Green Bay Packers going into the San Francisco 49ers, Nikki's Niners. My good friend Nikki up in San Francisco, she loves those Niners, and Jimmy G's doing so good, and they've been getting hurt. Yeah, I understand that, but they're keeping it together, man, and this is such a great game. It's going to be a great game to watch. I mean, I wasn't too impressed, even though they beat the Detroit Lions last week. I wasn't that impressed with the Packers. I don't know, guys. I wasn't that impressed. The offense between each other, I mean, you have the Packers against the Niners. Niners offense is ranked 18th. The offense of the Packers, 29th, almost last. They just don't look like they're in sync yet. And the defense is the 10th to the 19th. San Francisco's defense is 19. The passing, 27th to 15th. I mean, the passing and even the rushing is all Niners. Niners is winning. They're winning the rushing, the passing. The offense is suspect. They're 19th, but they're winning. The defense. And the Packers are winning in defense. They're top 10. They're the 10th ranked defense in the NFL. The offense on the Green Bay Packers offense looks terrible, 29th. And like I said, when they played the Detroit Lions, I wasn't too impressed. I just wasn't impressed. So I'm giving this one to the San Francisco 49ers. And whenever Green Bay goes into the West Coast and something happens, I don't know what, but the West Coast teams usually come alive against Green Bay when they're on the West Coast. And I think Jimmy G's going to have a huge game, and they'll end up 3-0, and the Packers will be 1-2 at the end of this game. I'm giving this to the San Francisco 49ers. The Nikki's Niners, Nikki's Niners. Oh boy, she's cute too. Anyway, let's just keep the football. And last but not least, we have Monday Night Football. The Philadelphia Eagles going into Dallas Stadium, the Star. Wow. I mean, that's going to be a fun game, guys. Fun game to watch. It's the Eagles. Their Eagles are 15th offense. The Dallas Cowboys are 4th. The Eagles' defense is number 4. The defense of the Cowboys, 27th. Passing, 22nd for the Eagles. 6th for the Dallas Cowboys. 2nd in rushing because of Jalen Hurst and Sanders for the Eagles. And then 7th in rushing for the Dallas Cowboys. So, I mean, I think this is going to be a good game. It's in Dallas. Philadelphia's been playing tough ball. So is Dallas. I think Dallas has a better team. I like them at home. I like Dallas in this game. I really do. Monday Night Football. Dak Prescott is going to impress everyone. Fantastic. I can't wait to see this game. Jalen Hurts, he's going to keep it close. But in the end, Dallas is going to pull it out by 7 to 10 points. And give it up. It's been fun, people. It's been fun. Thank you for tuning in to the Calvin Dean Show, sponsored by the NFL Network. And I'll see you guys next week. See you next week. All right.